So this is my very first YouTube video for my channel, and my videos are going to be basically going on a series to where I am gradually getting ripped, staying in a calorie deficit. And so we're just about ready to head off to the gym. Wanted to do a quick shout out to a fellow YouTuber. His name is Aaron Knightley, and his channel is on basically escaping the 9 to 5. And it's about entrepreneurship, fitness oriented. It basically pushed me to stop waiting and finally launch my fitness journey. And just wanted to do a shout out again for you, Aaron. Really appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much for all your recommendations for your audiobooks. To push me to light the fire underneath me just enough that I needed to finally start my journey and stop waiting. So, all right, let's put in the destination, because half the times I don't know where I'm going on here. And we'll head to the gym and get this party started. All right. So, and bear with me too, with this being my first video series, things are gonna be a little clunky with the editing. And hopefully with my light turned on here, I don't have any cops try to pull me over. Not too many cops out this time of night, so, and I always try to be pretty obedient to the traffic laws. So yeah, I'd like to start off with my story, and hopefully I'm not yelling too loud. This obviously, like I said, my first video, some of this is trial and error. We'll work out the kinks, figure out what we're doing to make this better for you guys and myself. So a little bit about myself. I started weightlifting back when I was 16 and a half or so. And I'm 37 now, so I have been training for a long time. And I always loved bodybuilding, really enjoyed it. My dad is the one that actually got me into it, because he used to compete back in the 80s in some local bodybuilding competitions that were around Seattle and Tacoma, Washington. So he had all the old muscle books, all the old school stuff, like way before Jay Cutler and Ronnie Coleman, all those guys, like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Franco Columbu and Mike Katz and Frank Zane, Sergio Oliva, all those guys, Larry Scott. Those are the guys that I grew up with, that I started following a lot of their stuff. So yeah, about 21 years, that's how long it's been that I've been training. And within the last 4 years or so, I finally got into some videos by a gentleman named Greg Doucette. He is on YouTube, and I started following his calorie deficit. And I'm like, calorie deficit? Have no idea what that is. Calories in, calories out, no idea what that was. All I ever did was I ate big to get big. And I did get big. I got big and strong, but I also got big and fat. And so, there's nothing worse than lifting 10 to 15 years and you're working around someone at your job and they're like, oh man, dude, you lift? You don't lift. Doesn't look like, I didn't even realize that you lift. And it makes you want to cry. And so, once I'd heard that several times by friends of mine, I finally, I want to actually look like a bodybuilder. I mean, okay, I've never competed, so technically, according to some people online, well, he trains like a bodybuilder, he's not a bodybuilder. I'm like, that makes, okay. I'm a bodybuilding in training, okay. I will eventually compete, don't know when, but starting this channel was a big thing for me. It's a way to keep me set, keep me on schedule, and keep me more disciplined than I already am. I'm fairly disciplined, been doing this for a long time. Yeah, what the conclusion that I've come to is basically discipline is not motivation. It's a habit. Because motivation, it fades, you're motivated, you got a New Year's resolution, you're all motivated, you're excited. And if you don't discipline yourself enough and train yourself, it's not going to become a habit. And once it becomes a habit, that's like a chain reaction to all of a bunch of other things that start happening within your life. And you might, I mean, you look at Arnold. Arnold, his thing was bodybuilding. It was like a chain reaction, like a house full of cards or a domino effect. That was like his key discipline. I don't know if you guys have ever read the book Atomic Habits, but that book is wonderful because it basically shows you how some habits in your life will basically, if you do those, will encourage you in other areas to become more disciplined. Like if you want to work out or do your cardio or whatnot in the morning, and it just inspires you to then be more disciplined around the house or with other errands or whatever you're doing. And so that's huge. I love that book, Atomic Habits. That's huge. Because I found out for me that the bodybuilding, the training, that was basically my atomic habit. The one that encourages me and inspires me in all different other areas of life. And so, because I'm not really the most, I never used to be very disciplined or very motivated. I was actually very lazy. And once I got into bodybuilding, that's what really set things on fire for me, because it trained me differently than what I was used to. And yeah, pretty crazy stuff. And so yeah, my first video tonight, I'm going to be training arms. I'll do triceps first. There's several exercises I'll be doing, and then I'll go to biceps. Probably not going to superset. I mean, I might superset a little bit halfway during the workout. We'll see. I like to warm my triceps first, get a lot of blood under there, because it's easier for me to get my biceps a lot more pumped after I do triceps. And so I kind of follow the same thing that Jay Cutler does. A lot of his stuff, my volume training, a lot of different things that he does that I've adapted to, because he's always one of my favorite bodybuilders. And I love volume. Always liked it. I've tried to train a little bit less over the years, but it's hard for me to get excited about it. And so there are certain muscle groups that I do train twice a week. And even though I still use a lot of volume, I'm able to still kind of get away with it. I don't know, it's just genetics or whatever, I don't know. Legs and back. Those are two that I can get away with working twice a week and still use a decent amount of volume. And I'm talking like 20, 30 sets per workout. So you're talking 50, 60 sets a week. But I can't do that same kind of stuff for biceps. I do train arms twice a week, but I train them with a lot less volume. As I found out with certain things, especially like I don't do chest twice a week because it starts to bother my shoulder tie-ins and my rotator cuff. So I'm very careful with doing that. I do a lot of warming up, a lot of what Jay Cutler calls it. He calls it feel sets. I do a lot of feel sets so I can feel my joints warming up. I know there's a lot of guys that jump into the gym. They, well, I'm going to warm up by, getting on the treadmill for, 10 minutes or so. And don't get me wrong, that gets blood moving. That will get things pumped up, your legs, blood circulating in your body, nutrients, whatever pre-workouts and food you've had, it's going to circulate in your body. But it's not the same as you're like, oh, I've done 10 minutes of treadmill, so now I'm warmed up for the bench press. You haven't warmed up your joints. So you have to be very careful. I do a lot of feel sets. I mean, I'd much rather do a lot more volume and people think, that's kind of a waste. There's junk volume with the so-called feel sets that he's doing. But I'd much rather train at 80% versus 100% like the other guy and then be at risk of injuring myself to where, he warmed up for the first exercise, and so the next exercise, he probably doesn't have to warm up too much. Well, I mean, that might be true for some people, but for me, it's like if I jump into heavier weights, especially on any kind of pressing movements with my chest, I feel it in my tie, especially my right one, my shoulder. So I have to be very careful when I'm training. Very much properly warmed up, a lot of field sets, make sure everything's stretched really well from doing the field sets. And sometimes you can never be too safe, you know? Yeah, you maybe not progressively overload as much as you want to if you're doing a lot more field sets and volume. But you're anything like me, I'm in this for the longevity of it. And that's what I want. So yeah, my dad was a big inspiration, going back to that, for me to get into it. Aaron Knightley really helped me a lot with finally pursuing my dreams. Because right now, I'm probably still over probably about 25% body fat. And I thought, well, I want to get to visible abs. I want to get to that stage to where I ever start doing videos. And watching Aaron Knightley's videos, that basically told me, and a lot of other guys, entrepreneurs especially, he's like, you're never going to feel ready. Even if you feel like you're absolutely ready, you're probably still not going to feel as ready as you thought you were going to feel. So I'm thinking, well, why not just show the journey? I mean, some people out there might see my videos like, wow, he's really big, but he's kind of fat too. I'm like, yeah, you know, it's a journey. I'm like everyone else. I'm trying to diet down, trying to stay in a calorie deficit and keep my step count up. I'm trying to do 10,000 steps a day. That helps me, so I can fluctuate a little bit with my calories with what I eat. It's not too much. I probably burn in about, 400 or 500 calories from the amount of steps that I do, probably a little less. So I stay at around 16 to 1,800 calories per day. That's what I take in. My metabolism's very, very, very slow. Some people that's not enough calories to survive. And I'm like, I feel content. I will drink a decent amount of coffee, and I have a lot of high volume foods that have less calories just to keep myself full. And so that's the kind of stuff that I do. There's a lot of tricks of the trade making yourself feel full. You can have smart popcorn. Greg Doucette, YouTuber, he loves that kind of popcorn. Has basically zero fat in there, 100 calories per bag, a little bag. So I'll use a little bit of spray, the 0 calorie stuff, which is probably still a few calories on there, and then some salt. And there's different popcorn seasonings that you can put on there, which are fun. And I grew up on diet soda pop, or pop, however you say it, wherever you're from. I love diet soda, always have. I grew up on it in the house. And so some people are like, well, there's an aftertaste, or there's aspartame. I'm like, well, I think there's an aftertaste with the sugar too, so. Don't get me wrong, I like normal pop too, but I'd much rather have diet soda. So I grew up on that. So automatically, that is helping me to stay in a little bit more of a deficit because I'm not drinking my calories. And the smart popcorn. But yeah, it's basically, the thing I loved about Greg Doucette is that following his stuff showed me that you can be on any kind of diet that you want to be, as long as you're in deficit. I'm like, well, that's cool. Thought you had to cut out carbs and everything. And now carbs do hold a certain amount of water per gram of carb. So if you eat more carbs, you're gonna have more water weight. It's not fat. So they're like those guys that are on the keto diets, when they switch over to keto, and in a week they drop 7-8 pounds. They're like, oh my gosh, I lost all this weight. Yeah, you lost weight. You probably didn't lose any body fat unless you were in a calorie deficit. So I eat the same kind of stuff that I've always eaten. I just eat less of it. Or if I'm having omelets, I might mix some egg whites in there with the normal yolks. Still want to get my egg yolks in there. I'll still eat some fatty food. But if I do that, I know I'm going to have to monitor my eating for the rest of the day and maybe eat a little less. And so trying to stay within that 500 calorie deficit each day. Because what is it? 3,500 calories is equal to 1 pound of fat. So if my maintenance is 2,300 calories and I drop it to 18, I'm going to lose about, roughly a pound of fat a week if I have dialed it in just right. So yeah, I never knew this stuff back in the day. All I did was follow Jay Cutler's stuff, and he's got great genetics. He could eat like a freight train and not gain that much, and still have visible abs. Rich piano is another one. Got to eat big to get big. And I mean, if you got the genetics, that's great. But most of us, we eat really big like that, we're going to gain a lot of excess body fat. So yeah, just to monitor it. Oh, and by the way, we're going to end up putting it on our videos too. I am not a doctor, so I don't want us to get into any kind of trouble on YouTube because there are rules that need to be followed, like the traffic laws. Hopefully with my lights on, it's not going to get me pulled over. I don't know if that's an old wives' tale. I saw that in a meme on YouTube quite a while back. I'm like, oh, if you have your light on in your vehicle, you'll get pulled over. I'm like, old wives' tale? Is that true? I don't know. Maybe it just depends if an officer's having a bad day or not, so. I did try to film with this in the dark. I couldn't see anything. You couldn't see anything. I mean, maybe I don't have it in the proper setting. All right, I'm gonna be at the gym in about 5 minutes. So yeah, I'm gonna end the video right here and we'll see you guys in a minute. So right now I'm doing a bunch of my field sets, doing the close grip bench press for my triceps. So I'm doing a lot of field sets to get my joints and shoulders warmed up. All right, another field set, and we'll start moving up. Okay, now we're starting to move to the working sets. Working set here, and I'm going to use the slingshot for this. I know you're probably not supposed to use it unless you're using a lot of weight, but I love the way it keeps you locked in so you don't feel like you're rocking so much, especially once you get to really heavy weight. It's probably not necessarily the right thing to do, but I like to do it just because it makes me feel, especially with my shoulder joints, makes me feel just a little bit more confident in my lift. So, never can be too careful. All right, we'll do one more set. All right, got my slingshot. I'm ready to go. 265 on here. All right. Eight. Now we're gonna stop there. Oh, better to be safe than sorry. All right, for our next exercise, I'm gonna be doing some rope pull downs. or push downs, pull downs, push downs. It's one of them. All I know is that it works the triceps. So I really like this machine. Here's an old style machine. You can actually put your back right up against this, and it's a lot heavier than a lot of machines that I generally use. So we'll do a couple field sets here, get everything nice and warmed up. Nothing too crazy. Okay, we're set here. Come on. Yeah. Ooh. Man. We're doing something. All right. Full range of motion. Man. Whew. We'll do one more set. Okay. We're set here. We're going to be doing some seated dumbbell French presses. And I also like to warm up for these two since everything is behind. It's nothing like being safe. Man. Feel set number 2. It's actually kind of cold in here. The fans are turning on now. Now we're starting to get into the working sets. Working set. Set. All right, I'm gonna do some tricep machine dips. And I really love to have my hands as if you were doing like a decline press. And normally with these, I tend to stand in. And this section here, I'm actually able to put the top of my butt under there, and it kind of holds. And eventually I'll end up using a belt if it gets too heavy, if it pulls me up. But I really like this sensation of really being able to get deep. And then again, also as well, I'm doing my feel sets with these, because I don't trust my joints, especially with decline. Do one more feel set, start working into the weight. I'm gonna get myself all buckled in to this. Like I'm getting into a high chair or something. So I like to do this while I'm standing. Just a little bit, get myself tucked in there, nice and tight. Okay, I go. Hey. Whew. Man. They have one of these old school tricep extension machines at this gym, and I love this thing. You can load the plates here, and then these pads on the side here just keep you all locked in. This thing is great. Yeah, this is probably one of my favorite arm machines that they have in here. This is great. Oh, also, before I forget, I love to log all my goodies. I like to log my dates, the time, so I can see if I'm progressively overloading. And it's fun to track. Sometimes it's easy to go in. For a lot of years, I used to go into the gym and just kind of do whatever. Let me grab a weight here. And still got really great results doing it. But it's fun to log things down, especially when you look over the years at your numbers of what you used to get. And I mean, obviously when you're younger, sometimes you can lift more weight depending on what stage of life you're in. And it's fun. I enjoy it. One last set here. Oh man. Whew. Not left in the tank for that one. I really also like these, the barbell French press. I do like a close grip with them. And I really like the stuff they do behind the neck like that because it really gets that long head of the tricep and just gets that thicker part there. It's just it makes the arm look a lot bigger. There's only certain exercises that really hit it well. Like to get a nice deep stretch there, all the way down. Oh man. All right. Yeah. Man. Whew. Whew. I think that's about it for triceps. Start with some barbell curls. Do some feel sets, get things warmed up here before we start moving into some weight. This is great. This gym here, it's called the Hardcore Barbell Gym. It's near Vancouver in Washington. And all the stuff that they have here is like powerlifting stuff. I mean, these are all, on the side of these bars, they have the state of Texas on all of them. So they're Texas bars, and the dumbbells up here go to 185 pounds. I've never even seen dumbbells that big, apart from on social media, right? Biggest dumbbells I think I'd ever seen anywhere. We're at World Gym back in Idaho Falls, Idaho. They had 140s. And then ended up taking them to another World Gym because they had powerlifting meets there. So I never even saw those again. All right. All right, let's do a few more of those. One thing I forgot to mention is a lot of the feel sets that I do, I really love being able to get a lot of blood into the muscle and just live in that pump. And so I love that sensation. So it's not just to warm everything up, but to get that pump as well. And to Arnold, it was all about the pump. This is definitely a working set now. So I also like to, I am a big believer in doing barbell cheat curls. I don't go too crazy with them. I swing just a little bit when it starts to get too hard. I want to be careful with my back, but I've always liked barbell cheek curls. Arnold was a big believer in them. And he had some great biceps. That's the last set of those. We'll move on to the next exercise. So yeah, my last set, I will use a little bit more body English. And as long as it's not too crazy, just go by how you feel. Some people wear belts. Honestly, don't like using weightlifting belts anymore with any of my exercises, even with deadlifts, bent over rows, or squats. Just because I feel, it's just my preference. This is another really good machine, this preacher bench. This is like really heavy duty. And I also like to do this. You're really in a position of vulnerability, especially at the bottom here. A lot of people, when they're really using a lot of weight, can tear down here. So I'm very careful as I do this. I've only starting off with the 25-pound plate. I don't really go that heavy. It's all about the feel. The barbell curls, I can swing a little bit more, and I know it feels safe or not. I mean, I probably could have done 135 to 140 with some cheats, but I mean, I just wasn't feeling that today, and I don't want to go. It's like you don't always have to go that heavy, You can get the job done with lighter weight. Sometimes I'll see younger kids throw, 2 or 3 45s on this thing, and they're just bouncing out of the reps. I'm like, oh my goodness, dude, you're gonna like tear something over time, but what are you gonna say, right? When I was that age, I barely listened to anyone, so we just hope and pray for the best and for their safety, but you can't really say too much. So yeah, I really like to get the feel with these, get the blood in there. All right, I'll add a 10-pound plate to that. Oh, starting to feel like working sets. I don't know, maybe that was another feel set. Thought it was going to be heavier than that. What a nightmare, huh? All right. 45, and I got a 10 on there. Whew, okay, that felt heavier. And as this gets heavier, just slow down the motion. Oh, it starts to feel unsafe. Whew. Whew. All right, we're gonna use some 50s. There we go. We'll see how this set feels. It might be my last one for seated dumbbell curls. Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah, I like doing these against the bench like this. A little bit more stable. A little bit more control. All right. All right, we'll grab a 20. Keep moving up. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I love the fact the leaner I get, you see the veins. And I've been lifting for 20 years and never seen that until I finally lost enough body fat. Oh, I lost count. Okay. Yeah, same thing with these is it does not take much weight to get the result done. If it takes more weight, I mean, you can progressively overload, that's one thing. But to just be hurling them around, that's only gonna give you so much results, or so many results. I lost count again. I should shut up and stop talking during my sets. Okay. I lost count again. Whew. Man. Obviously, everything will gradually look better the leaner I get, so. All right, guys. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining in on my first video. I really appreciate you guys and hope that you enjoy the content. But yeah, I hope this is motivating for you. I mean, I've been training for 21 years. It's taken me a long time to get here. And so, yeah, this gym is great. You see the big old huge dumbbells over there. Yeah, and this is just the one side. They got a bunch of different machines here. Yeah, this is a great gym. And they even up top, I don't know if you can see that, all the way up top there, they got a tanning booth and a dry sauna, which is cool. A bunch of different powerlifting racks and all these different kind of leg machines in the other room there. And obviously, as you guys follow along, you'll be able to see more and more of that. But yeah, I'm doing about 10,000 steps a day, trying to keep my calories at around 1,800. And I'll adjust it when I have to. If I want to try to lose body fat a little quicker. I want to be really slow with it because I also don't want excess body skin and that kind of fun stuff that people will, if you lose weight too fast, your body doesn't really have time to adjust. But yeah, I'll probably be filming when I'm driving to and fro the gym. I don't know if I'll be filming when I go home. I might, because I mean, obviously right now it's going on 12:30 in the morning, and I get here between 9 and 10, depending, just because it's pretty darn busy earlier on. And I know that they don't frown upon people filming, but sometimes it's just a little nicer to get in here, and a little later it kind of feels like your own gym. Not that I don't have anything against anyone, but it's kind of a getaway, because I used to go to a lot of bigger gyms, and as much as I liked them, commercial equipment and everything, it's just too busy. And then with them not being 24 hours, it's just really hard, because I mean, if you show up at 9 to the gym, it closes at 11, it turns into a pretty crazy rat race. And then you try to be patient with people. I mean, they pay for the membership too, so it's not like they're in my way or in anyone else's way. So their rights are the same as mine. So, but yeah, thank you guys so much for following along. I'm going to be doing my workouts right now are about 6 days a week, legs twice a week and arms twice a week, back, shoulders, and chest. I'm doing those once. And we'll see how long those workouts are. I might split my back workout into 2 routines. I don't know how I'm going to do that, because I'm already hitting 6 days a week. So if I need to do 7 days, I mean, that's fine. This is peaceful for me. So I enjoy this. So yeah, thank you guys so much for following along. Yeah, if you like the video, just like it and subscribe, and please, yeah, comment to boost the algorithm. And yeah, appreciate you guys. And until next time, we'll see you then, guys.